Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the Racing Addicts podcast, potentially the earliest we have ever recorded an episode following a race. The post-race show is still going on downstairs.
Yeah.
But I'm joined in studio by my buddy Mitch, who we hung out and watched the race together. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, man. I mean, Corey got wrecked, so a little disappointed by that, but it's all right.
Yeah, that was a little heartbreaking, especially because he was having a really good day, and had a really good last couple weeks.
But you know what? If you're going to end it on the 7, in any way, that's probably the way to end it. After the way they treated him.
Yeah, and honestly, it's been a weird couple weeks. I appreciated his pre-race driver intro thing where he was like, Corey LaJoie, driver of the 7 car for one more week. I thought that was really clever.
Poor Corey.
I'm glad he's having fun with it. Like, that tells me that he's got the right spirits, you know?
He's just riding the wave, man. Whatever God gives him, he'll
make
accept,
it work.
you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I like, we've talked about it before, but if Brad Keselowski's involved in the 51, which it sounds like he is, yeah. I like it. So
we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was going to happen this soon, but it's all right. But
no, that was nuts. I mean, we had our buddy, whose name will not be disclosed, kind of give us a heads up because we knew before anything broke.
I was like, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah,
let's trade.
And when it happened, it was like, oh my gosh, that was dead on.
Yeah,
it was weird.
I didn't think the announcement was going to come this quick, though. I thought it was going to happen I thought it was after Kansas.
Oh,
that's what I interpreted it as, but that makes sense. You know,
get it done.
Yeah,
I think when you get to that point, it's better off just to cut the cord. Let it happen. Yeah. So, but we just finished watching the Cup race at Bristol. So we'll start out the way that we always do and do our race rating. So I don't know if you've had time yet to think about that. What are you thinking for what we just? I mean, this is fresh on the mind. We just watched this. What's on your brain?
Like 1 out of 10 kind of deal.
Yeah, like 1 out of 10 kind of deal.
I'm gonna give it a 3.5.
Ooh, mama.
Yeah, it was especially since the spring race was really good. I felt like the spring race was pretty good with the tire conservation. Yeah. And this was terrible. This was the exact opposite of that. And it sucked.
It was very, very, very next-gen-y. Very next-gen-y.
Couldn't pass, Ty Gibbs couldn't pass the 30th place car.
That's what's crazy.
100 laps.
And that's the biggest frustration right there. So we had the 19 and the 54 that both were top 4 cars, top 5 cars, whatever. And when they went back to 20th, they were gone.
Yeah.
Never seen from again. And that's a problem, And then at the end, we were making jokes because Ty Gibbs, who was running 11th at the time, I think, could not pass Daniel Suarez, who was 3 or 4 laps down.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's just, we're a broken record. This car sucks. My only hope is the industry itself has been coming out more and more lately. And today we had even a few more. Clint Boyer even tweeted right before we started recording. And I'm hoping you get enough industry professionals that maybe they realize, okay, it's time to it's time to stop chasing this stupid tire thing because it's not going to work. We've been told 8 times this year, this is the most aggressive tire compound we've ever brought to a racetrack, and then nothing's different.
It's true. Yeah, I mean, I don't know why there wasn't much tire wear tonight. I was kind of confused by that. I know they don't understand how the spring race happened, which is kind of baffling.
They still have no idea how it happened.
Yeah, and I thought that was okay, whatever they found from there would have been something they could apply for these other tracks that are short tracks. But even without shifting today, it just wasn't it.
No. No, and it's just they're still. So we had a great. Oh, sorry, I should rate the race before we continue.
Yeah, rate the race.
Sorry, ADD moment. I'm the one that has to clip this and skip 8 minutes ahead when I do it later. So, but I want to be. I thought the first stage was better than I expected, but that's about where it ended. So maybe I'll go 4.5, just 4.5, 5, just to feel a little better about it, but. I mean, we saw the same thing where you just couldn't pass, or if you could pass, it was limited. like I know the first stage we had more passing just because some of the cars were off on handling. And it felt like once everyone kind of got their handling figured out, that was the end of the race. So that's the only frustrating part for me. So I'll go 4.5, and it just, I don't know. I had FOMO rolling into the night because Bristol is a favorite racetrack of both of ours. And you always have that moment where you're like, man, I really wish I was there.
Yeah.
And it was like, after tonight, I was like, nah, I'm good. I think I told you halfway through the race, I was like, FOMO's broken.
Yeah,
we're good.
I was like, it's okay. We didn't have to be there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what the solution is. I just hope they find it, for next year. So
and that's all we can hope. It's just super frustrating to watch every single week. But yeah, we really and if the next point was we only had, I think, a couple incidents, which is very low for Bristol. And 2 of them involved the 66 car traveling at about 45 miles an hour.
We have the meets.
I saw
we have the slow pace. That's what they have. I mean,
right before we started, Couch Racer tweeted, whoever was running the Arby's PR is a genius because they had no idea their car was going to be on TV every 5 laps.
They got the most television time other than HendricksCars.com.
You're not wrong.
Or Monster or Suarez's car. I mean, I think they showed Suarez's car the whole race.
That's very accurate. That's very accurate. Yeah.
They showed a 30th place car 4 laps down in its entirety.
Weird moments. Is it time to have a conversation about speed minimums or whatever? Because I don't know how in the world that 66 was meeting minimum speed when he was literally a roadblock for 500 laps.
Yeah, I don't know what the scientific method was with that. I don't know what the ruling is as far as for each track. Is it 20%?
It's probably the same people that said we'd have tire wear tonight, I'm guessing.
It's probably the same engineers. You're probably right. Yeah, I think it's a good conversation to start having, especially it caused basically, I mean, honestly, it gave us cautions. With all Joe like
maybe we should have had more cars that all
maybe we should have more cars like that. So, because it spiced some things up a little bit, but in the end, it was pretty dumb. Yeah. Pretty dumb.
Well, I mean, it caused the wreck between the 7 and the 22, and it dang near caused the wreck between the 43 and the 99.
Yeah.
Like, just because, I mean, he's literally like 15 mile an hour off pace. Like, they come off the corner and there's just a red roadblock sitting in front of them.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, it's just Arby's doing his thing, Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I understand that the 66 car is trying to get some data to help for next year, but if you're that far off the pace, man, like, maybe you should race more than 3 races a year in that car.
Oh, 100%. 100%. Yeah, I'm all in on that because it's just, and it's a playoff race. Like,
yeah, that too.
It ended up costing, I mean, thank God for Logano he wanted Atlanta because, like, if he hadn't wanted Atlanta, that could have ended his playoff run.
And people would have been okay with that, I think.
I mean, we would have been fine.
I think there's some people that'd be all right with that. But yeah, I know. Yeah, you're right on that. It's definitely could cause some things. If it was Denny Hamlin that was involved, I think it would have been a little better. But unfortunately, that didn't happen. So.
I think you spent the last 100 laps of the race just going, wreck him.
I said Chase Briscoe do God's work and just wreck the 11. You just gotta wreck them. I mean, that's all we want right now.
Yep.
And that's just another storyline. But now I don't think we have a storyline for next week.
I don't know. I mean, we are going to the track that is like one of the 4 good tracks with this car. So
we'll be like, oh my gosh, it was such a good race. I love this car.
Awesome. And then the week after, we'll go to Talladega and we'll be back to complaining because it's going to be 3 wide of can't pass.
Rental cars, yeah. I got to save fuel.
Yeah. Although the shark fin worked at Daytona, so maybe the shark fin will fix Talladega.
Or the Joy, this wreck saved Super Speedway racing for this car.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Oh, man. I hope Corey wins in the 51.
It would be cool. So I know Corey made the comment pre-race that now his goal is he's going to the 51. I think we all know that. So his goal is for the 51 to now beat the 7 in owners points at the end of the season.
I mean, he helped the day after that wreck.
That's true.
I know he's 11th. I was like, man, it's going to make it tough for him in the next 7 weeks. But you know what? We just got ourselves a little advantage there. I was rooting for the 51 tonight. Just kidding. I
that
wasn't.
31st place finish really helped that goal, you know?
Hey, I mean, help Suarez out. So
that is true. So yeah, it was. It'll be interesting to follow, and we like Corey here, so and we're all Team Ford now. So
the only thing I don't like is Spire and Built Bar. So
yeah,
it's on the same flag.
I forgot. We still have our clip posted of you like ranting about Built Bar, just going to town on them
because they're a joke. You know, you invest in something and you don't have any money. You leverage debt. That's what happens when you leverage debt. It's not a good idea.
Which was frustrating for me. Like we touched on it earlier, but like I don't like that Spire signed a multi-year contract with Corey, and after half of a bad season, fired him. Like it just
it's a weird taste. But you know what? If that's how the culture is, I'm okay that he got fired.
Well, exactly. You're glad he's gone, right? Yeah.
Like it's a blessing in disguise. Like I know at the time it sucks, but I think Corey in the end would be like, okay, well if that's what the conversation were behind my back, then why would I want to stay here? You know? So I think it's a blessing in disguise. I think I'm interested to see these next 7 weeks. You know, I don't know what's going to come of it, if he's going to stay in the 51 or not. But either way, I'm gonna enjoy it. So for a while it lasts.
I completely agree. I mean, as far as highlights for the Cup race, man, I would love to draw this out anymore, but I mean, John Hunter Nemechek wrecked on like lap 2, which is kind of a normal gig for him.
Yeah,
but
yeah, I mean, it's a common thing, it seems like. But
man,
he's last in points, right? So,
well, that's true. Harrison Burton probably screwed that up, didn't he?
Close. Like, well, no, Harrison Burton is in the playoffs, so he automatically gets 16th. So.
Did you just see David send his summary via text of the race?
No, I did not.
David is currently finishing up a show that he forgot he had until like yesterday. Yeah. And so we texted him before we started, like, hey, we're about ready to record. Are you getting close? And da-da-da and all that. And David's response was, nope, go without me. F that race. So I think that means David's going to rate it like a 2. So we'll go with like a 2 rating from David.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Brad got out of the top 25. I mean, it was tough. Couldn't pass. I'm a broken record. You know it.
Copy and paste every single episode, yeah.
But we wanted to see Brad do something. You know, I was rooting for Brad.
And I thought he would. I really did. Like,
you know, and Chris Buescher got the mojo. Then, yeah. I don't even know where he was today. But
mid, where did he finish? Like 15th, I think, something like that. Like,
I mean,
it wasn't
that's
exciting,
not an RFK outing at Bristol after the last 2 years. You know,
I had high expectations for all of them today. I thought it was going to be a Ford show today. I really did, but
I thought so too. But
just wasn't. No. Which, for what it's worth, John Hunter Nemechek is last in points of the full-time drivers. So good catch.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's crazy though, because we say that, but the man has a lot of Xfinity wins, right? Like he can win a lot of races in other series when I don't know if he has a championship or not.
No, because he chokes it away every time. Like he was in the KBM truck, should have won the championship, and he wrecked himself like the last 3 races of the season.
Yeah, he did.
And then the same in Xfinity. He had 2 opportunities to win championships, and he wrecked himself out of it. Like,
I think he has like 15 Xfinity wins, though. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like he's I hate to say it, it's not like he's a trash driver. Like, he has trash judgment, but like he can win races, is what I'm saying. And he goes and finishes last in Cup. Is that more, you think, the money? What's it called again? Legacy Motor Club. Garbage Motor Club. Is do you think it's Garbage Motor Club's issue, or do you think it's more John Hunter?
Well, so he was my biggest disappointment at the beginning of the season, and I stand behind it because we saw him choke away so many potential wins in trucks and Xfinity when he was driving top tier equipment. And so I had this fear when he went from KBM and JGR to Legacy Motor Club. It's like, bro, like you're going to have to bridge the gap. And I don't know that I see him being able to bridge the gap. So
I know what you mean.
I think he is very much a mid driver. And right now he's a mid driver driving for a crappy team. So I think best case scenario, he's still a 20th, 25th place car. I just don't see anything more out of John Hunter. I really don't.
Yeah, I mean, especially with that team right now. But are you just think in general?
I think in general. I mean, honestly, I mean, if you were to put him in an RFK car tomorrow, I still think he runs 25th to 30th. I really do.
Yeah.
I just don't see, like, I would take Carson Hocevar over John Hunter in a heartbeat, like
Crazy
for
to
whatever
think,
that's worth.
Yeah, that he's been outperforming a lot of guys. So
Yeah.
he's staying out of trouble, which is good.
That's just where I'm at with him. So it is. So Kyle Larson obviously got the win, led basically every single lap. Chase Elliott got second because he got a good restart.
Did you hear the history? He led the most laps as a Hendrick driver ever.
Really?
For
In a win?
Yep. He
That's
beat Jeff
crazy.
Gordon at Martinsville's and Jimmy Johnson's record with 400 and some laps. I mean, he led more than any Hendrick driver ever in a race before. So
I mean, that is impressive.
it's pretty impressive, especially beating Jimmy
pass
Johnson and all of
500,
them.
you know?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, we're gonna disclose. I mean, we're gonna forget that 10 years from now, right? I mean, if NASCAR's a thing from 10 years from now, you know.
But the stat will remain.
That will remain. Kyle Larson is the OG, the GOAT.
He is. And he's a great driver. It's good to see him not choke. I mean, I like Kyle Larson, so it was good to see him not choke it away. Obviously, he's had issues. I mean, Darlington comes to mind where he led like 95% of the laps and gave it away, but
that's all right. He'll get another 30 more wins before he's done.
Be fine. Yeah. Bubba Wallace with a late race charge. Apparently, he was able to pass at the end, finishes P3, which is impressive. Hamlin P4, Bell P5, Blaney CRB P6. Holy crap! Ryan Preece finished 7th. I don't know how that even happened. Chase Briscoe 8th, which I really thought he was going to win for a while there. And Bowman 9th. And Ross Chastain in 10th. And then a bunch of other guys. And then a whole bunch of Fords. Buescher finished 14th, by the way. Ty Gibbs fell to 15th. So, I don't know. Whatever we want to make of that. It looks like there was some sort of fall off in the last couple of laps. I think I was kind of tuned out by that point,
I don't know
to be
if it was
honest.
frustration from drivers or, you know what I mean? Like, I know Ty Gibbs
You have
was
to
pissed.
wonder.
I know he was pissed. That's probably why he finished.
I think so, too.
Yeah, he just was like, I'm overdriving this crap. I'm done.
Yeah.
I've done the same thing.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, and it's like, you know, Blaney even at one point, because I follow, there's a girl that literally tweets his entire radio chatter. So I follow her just to follow his radio.
Yeah.
And they had an error where he lost like 3 spots on pit road. And he was like, I can't get it back. Yeah. Like it's going to take me the whole next stage to get those 3 spots back. We can't keep doing this. And he's not wrong because like, I mean, even cars that were amazing, it took them 20 laps to pass a car, you know, and then they'd pass them and they're gone. And actually, Jeff Gluck caught a really good quote from Ty Gibbs after Watkins Glen last week that said he ran a guy down from 6 seconds back, took him 15 laps to get by him, and then a lap later he couldn't even see him. But it still took him 15 laps to pass him. Yeah. And Ty even went as far as to make the comment, which he probably got in trouble for this week, but he even went as far as to make the comment. He said it's obvious they're making this intentional, and it's really frustrating as a driver. He's like, but until we put 900 horsepower in these things, this is what we got.
He's not wrong. Yeah. You know, I trust their judgment. And I guess my $5 championship pick for Ty Gibbs isn't going to work out this year. So
that is true. I forgot about that. That is the official ending of that.
Another L.
Yeah. So we did have. I mean, we should look at our championship eliminations because that is pretty big.
Yeah, I think it was Harrison Burton, Martin Truex Jr., Brad Keselowski, and
Ty Gibbs. Yeah. And Ty Gibbs. Which, I mean,
Truex did it to himself.
He did, and in multiple times. You know, unfortunately, it's just where it's at, and I know it's so obvious. Martin hates this car, and I don't blame him. Like we get it.
We should just invite him on the podcast.
We
honestly.
should. Martin, this is your official invite. Once you're free of Joe Gibbs, that you can speak your mind, we got a seat right here for you, buddy. It's all you.
Oh man. Yeah, he can spew as much as he wants.
Yeah.
So.
Well, even the way when he announced his retirement, even the way he worded it was like, "I'm excited to leave Cup so I can go run Xfinity."
Yeah,
you know, and it was like, man, if you're running NASCAR, that statement should terrify you. Of course, it doesn't because they're morons. But because he's excited to go run a real race car again, where you can actually like race. So
1,000% right.
Yeah, just facts. So I think, I mean, if we look at surprises, I think Truex is probably a surprise. Maybe not. I think most of us had him at least going further. I mean, we had Cindric and Suarez advance that I don't think any of us picked them advancing. So.
No, especially after the performance today. And honestly, like, I think we missed out on a good opportunity to eliminate Denny Hamlin. He's going to come roaring back with so much momentum. He's going to win Kansas. He's probably going to win Talladega. He's probably going to win Homestead. And then he's going to win a championship because he has momentum now.
Yeah, it's going to be... I still don't see him winning the championship, but...
I hope not. I hope I'm wrong.
What I saw out of them at Atlanta was not good, and I think that's the part I'm most nervous about is the mentality. Well, not nervous, but
you know, you would think NASCAR would try to pull something to get him out of the race because he didn't sign the charter. You'd think they would do something to manipulate it because that's what they do.
That's true.
I mean, that's what they're known for. So, I hope NASCAR does anything in their power to make sure that Denny Hamlin does not win. No bias there, but just.
No bias.
Just, logic. I'm just thinking logistically about it all. So,
well, hopefully their motor from today actually goes back to NASCAR to get inspected.
You think that's going to happen? You think anything's going to come about it?
Well, it's supposed to. That's why they got the penalty from the spring because they didn't send it back.
That's true. You're right.
So I'm just saying.
He cheated again.
So yeah, I mean, definitely some shocks. I think you're going to have way less surprises in the next round. I don't see Cindric and Suarez making it past the next round at all. I mean, even today,
the roll was in it, right?
Yeah, but I just don't. So the next round is Kansas, Talladega, and Roval.
That's dumb. That doesn't sound right.
Entertainment series. That's where we're at.
That doesn't sound right, but
I know.
Roval, what the heck? Dega, crapshoot. Kansas is Denny Hamlin's house, so
Kansas is going to be straight up.
Or Kyle Larson.
It could.
Honestly.
It could be the Kyle Larson show, man. He's got ridiculous speed lately.
Yeah.
So
been pretty good. So.
Which I'd rather see Kyle Larson than the 11 for sure.
Yeah, I just don't know what's going to happen with that. So
no. So last night we had the Xfinity race.
Yeah.
It was great. I was at Williams Grove.
I told you not to do it.
I'm an idiot.
But I don't think it was a bad choice.
No, it wasn't the most exciting Xfinity race, but it was still good. Like I still enjoyed watching it.
Yep.
The set. I'm gonna go Team Homer for a second. The 7 freaking had a target painted somewhere on his car. He got wrecked by a lapped car, and then Sheldon Creed just cranked the wheel left, and it's just one of those days that you're like, are you serious? And he only lost the regular season championship by 3 points, and he had a race winning car. So it was like, that was the part at the end that you're just like, crushed.
And he was running through with the damage from the first wreck.
Yeah. With no back of the car. Like you're literally just see, it looks like a modified almost.
Like, if someone just would touch that bumper, it would just spin right out, And it did.
Yeah.
It did.
Oh, it was so frustrating. But I mean, props to Cole Custer. He did what he had to do. He ran a smart race.
That caution in the beginning, did you see that?
You're going to have to refresh me.
So it was like lap 2, Cole Custer hit the wall, and he was off the pace. And they threw the caution out, and I was like, there was no need to throw the caution. And that would have changed the whole race. He would never won it.
That's true.
And Allgaier would have won the championship because he would have been 3 or 4 laps down.
And that would have been your 3-point difference. That's true.
And that's where NASCAR manipulates all the outcomes because you can't bet on this stuff. You can't.
No. Because
that wasn't a caution.
It should not have been a caution. You're 1,000% right.
Yep.
1,000%.
It ruined the whole outcome of that race and then the championship. And it's going to ruin if Allgaier misses the next round by X amount of points for what should have been with the regular season championship. You can blame NASCAR's call on that caution.
I wasn't even mad till you brought that up because I didn't even think about that.
This is how I think when I watch these things. How can NASCAR screw up something so good?
Because you're right, because there was no reason for that caution. And it would have put him 3 laps down.
It's like, my friend had a bet on beating Cole Custer, and he's like, That was crap. Dude, there's no reason the caution should. I'm like,
Freaking handed him the win, bro.
I
Handed
agree.
it to him.
I agree, man.
I'm not a fan. So I was frustrating. Dale Jr. ended up 7th.
Because Ryan Truex wouldn't let him go.
I was so, dude. So
I was like, let's go.
The wholesome content was watching all the post race stuff with Dale.
Yes.
Because it was so funny. Like
Ryan came over.
Yeah.
He was like,
so
I'm
good.
sorry.
And then they're like laughing and hugging and shaking, like pounding each other
gave him
beers.
The Dale hug, the Earnhardt hug.
Yeah.
Oh, Dale Earnhardt hug.
Oh, so cool. Dale was at the track until 1 o'clock in the morning, drinking beer, hanging out.
And was his initial interview, he said he's not going to do this again next year. And then he posts like this today. He's like, oh, I'll be back next year.
yeah. I figured he was going to backtrack on that real quick.
After 3 beers or 4 beers in the system, he's probably like, yeah, I'll be back.
Well, I think he like the Xfinity Series is so much fun right now to drive.
And
like
you can pass. I mean, he was last place like 3 times because he had no glasses and he had to fix his helmet. And he's such an old man, dude.
And he can still come back and
finish top 10.
I don't know if you saw. I'm pretty sure it was Pockrass, and I hope I got that right. It was either Pockrass or Front Stretch or Weaver. Actually, I don't know who it was. But they were talking to SVG because SVG went over immediately to talk to Junior when he got out of the car. And they asked SVG, they're like, so what were you talking to Junior about? He goes, he's an old man. I had to help him get out of the car.
Is that what he said?
And then he just starts laughing.
Jeez.
And he's like, I had to go. Because on the cooldown lap, and someone posted the video, Junior comes up alongside SVG and just body slams the side of him, waves at him, and then pulls it into the pit. So SVG got out because I think he thought he did something wrong. He was trying to figure out what he did.
Yeah.
And then I saw they asked Junior about it, and he goes, no, I think it's so cool. I got to be on a track with SVG. I just had to let him know. I thought it was awesome.
He don't care.
Oh, but that personality, you can't ever lose. No. Like Dale Jr.'s personality, 10, like that's so. We had so much content from last night, like
just from him.
Yeah,
and honestly, he should be at Bristol next year and Rockingham. Dale Earnhardt Jr. You put it on the map, you'll be there. All right,
please.
And please, why doesn't the Xfinity Series go to North Wilkesboro? What are they waiting for? You have
you and I know why they don't go to North Wilkesboro.
Yeah, because it's going to ruin the All-Star
exactly.
race. Yeah, I mean,
there's exactly one clear reason why Xfinity doesn't go to North Wilkesboro.
Gosh, I mean, I would just go for if you had late models, if you had the Cars Tour Xfinity Series there for a weekend, take my money. I don't care.
Yeah,
I would spend more than I would go for the Daytona 500 possibly. I mean, it'd be good.
It'd be better, honestly.
Yeah.
So this is our official plea to Junior Motorsports and Dale Earnhardt Jr. Race Rockingham, because we might be there.
We might, honestly.
And how awesome would that be to have Dale Jr. in an Xfinity car at Rockingham next year?
Just to be at that track, dude.
Oh, I know.
I just want to go just because I've never been there, and that's when I've actually. So fun fact. So Rockingham's a big deal to me because that's when I started liking Casey Kane.
Yes, that's right.
Yes,
that's right.
When he lost to Matt Kenseth, I hate how it always has to come down to losing. But
and the last race there was the last Cup Series race at Rockingham was when he lost to Matt Kenseth, and he
should have won, but it's okay. It was his rookie season, his second race ever in a Cup car, and I was like, that
he was
9
on fire
Dodge,
at
dude,
that time, man, on fire.
Abraham, you had Ray and Tommy Baldwin on the pit box, and yeah, it was just a good time. And Kenny Francis was one of the third engineers, Yeah. You had a powerhouse there, but it was such a moment because I remember being actually at a haircut place and my mom's like, why would you root for the guy who lost? I said, that's my guy. Yeah. I said, I just, how he handled the situation. I was like 6 years old or whatever. I was just like, that's my guy. And he goes, well, why would you root for Matt Kenseth? Because I'm like, I hate Matt Kenseth. Like, I said that like as a 6-year-old kid. I was
that's hilarious.
But yeah, so there's some like nostalgic energy there, and it'd just be good to, and that's official, right? They're actually gonna make it happen.
Trucks and Xfinity. Trucks are running Friday. Xfinity's running Saturday.
Gotta go.
I
think that's something we have to do.
I have the blessing, so I feel like we need to make it happen.
I think if you're gonna pick a race all year, I think that would be it. I think
so.
Just because
the only part that sucks is we have to drive home Saturday night.
That's fine.
But I think we just go split skis on the drive-in.
That's fine. Yeah.
Because it's I think for us it's 7 hours.
It's not bad.
And the track doesn't have lights, so you know they're not going to run late.
No, if it rains out, then we'll just hopefully they come back next year, you know?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Hopefully it rains out till Monday and we drive back down.
Oh, there we go.
Just rain out till Monday. Let us be home for Easter, and then we'll drive back to Rockingham.
Drive back down.
Oh, but dude, that would be the icing on the cake, is if we had Dale Jr. in that 8. Well, not in the 88 because Zillish will be driving it.
Yeah, I mean,
but in the
I think he's going to drive the 8.
I think so.
Yeah.
With the DEI font, because if people have not been following it, Dale Earnhardt Jr. now owns
Did he win it?
DEI font.
So he won.
Teresa Earnhardt lit the whatever laps, and Dale Earnhardt Jr. now owns it.
Here comes the merch.
Dude.
Here comes the merch, man.
I'm saying. I think, and they do not have an 8 lined up for next year yet, because Sammy Smith's gone. Brandon Jones is gone. The only 2 drivers there are Zillich and Allgaier as of now.
Well, I kind of wish they would have, because they have the 1 and the 8, but can they get the 15? Can they get the 15?
Well, that's a good question. I may have read it wrong. From what I understood, I thought he only bought the 8 from DEI.
Dang it.
But you bring up a good point, because I could be wrong, because he does have the 1 in Xfinity right now, so I see where you're going with this.
And so that would be cool to see that little font on there.
Interesting.
Get Pennzoil back on the car.
I need to go back and reread that, because I thought it was specifically the 8.
Probably was. I'm not discrediting that, but
if it was the font, that would give him access to everything.
Just put Michael Waltrip in a car one more time.
Just to do it. It'd be fun. It'd be fun.
I don't care if he's running in the back. It's a 15 Napa car.
Just the guy makes great beer.
He makes great beer. He opened up his new location in Mooresville. It's like
I saw
half a mile down from where I used to live.
Oh my gosh!
Like, gosh, that's such a trap. I should have.
Dude, their food, like good, that, man. Everything. The atmosphere is great. The food's great. The beer's great. Yeah. I'm a huge fan of Michael Waltrip Brewing.
Yeah,
that's like one of the best places.
The beer's pretty good. It's pretty really soothing. Good.
I haven't had a bad one. Like, that's the impressive part. I've tried like 4 of them now, and they're all amazing.
Yeah.
So,
and I think even Nolan, wasn't he there?
Nolan was a fan too, and he's very picky with beer. So that was a high compliment.
Yep. He was like, "Oh, it's pretty good."
It's pretty good.
And he was feeling pretty good too.
That was Coca-Cola. That was the Coca-Cola 325 weekend. So I still.
It was such a good weekend until the Cup race.
And
I don't even know what I just witnessed. And then, there was a lot of crazy stuff that happened.
Wow,
that night.
It was an experience. So I mean, and we had trucks in ARCA too. Layne Riggs.
Yeah.
Impressive. And I feel like that's the best truck race we've seen at Bristol in a long time.
It was pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty good intensity, pretty good passing. Riggs once again waits till towards the end of the race to execute. And that's what you need to do. You don't need to dominate, you just need to get it done. And he's comfortable with that. And I think that's practice to the car. So I mean, the Cars Tour drivers are on fire.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, and you and I were talking about that earlier, because there's so many. I mean, Carson Kvapil,
Riggs, and you got Josh Berry's from there. You know, I didn't know he looked like an idiot today.
We did. Connor Zillich obviously came through there.
Zillich had some taste in that. And
I'm still a huge fan of Caden Honeycutt. I think Caden Honeycutt's amazing potential.
He does really well with what he got, especially with that Nice dumpster's fire. And then
and he runs respectfully with it.
And Butterbean gets his first start in trucks and gets third.
That's true.
I totally
Connor
Hall, top
Butterbean.
10, first start in trucks in 91 truck. And I don't think that 91 truck even finished a race this year.
Nope.
With, Jack Wood just wrecking it every week. So, it's just that series, that Cars Tour series has so many good drivers right now. It's just going to grow. It's going to continue to grow. The purse is going to grow. I want to see the streaming numbers, man. And I'm excited, man, because I'm going to Martinsville next week. I made a mistake on the last podcast. I thought it was this weekend. I don't know what I was thinking, dude.
Honestly, that would have given us a good race to watch tonight.
I know, right? I was kind of wishing it was tonight.
We'd still be watching it too.
We probably would, because there's going to be like 70 cars there next weekend, and then that updated list is going to continue to keep updating. So it's going to be good. I'm going to go down with my dad, so it should be pretty good.
It's going to be a fun trip. I'm excited. You'll have to post some content for us.
Yes,
send us some content.
I definitely will. I know, the places I crave. the cookout and the Bojangles. And
Love me some Bojangi.
you know what's crazy though about this late model stuff? Like, you still got hotels around the track available 1 week from the event, which maybe it's not a good look on it, but I know they pull pretty well. Like when you last year's race, they had to open up turns 1 and 2 because
That's cool.
too many people on the front stretch. So it was like how you could see a truck race, but more people. Honestly,
I was gonna say, yeah, it's way better attended than a truck race.
right?
Yeah,
and
that's good.
Xfinity in a way, but you know, it's growing, especially since Dale owns the series. If honestly, if Dale just would race, like,
Yeah.
I mean, actually, it's not the Cars Tour actually this weekend. It's going to be
Right.
just in its own event, but
It's a standalone.
it's a huge event, you know. And I just wish I know Riggs isn't signed up, and neither is Lapsevich. I know Lapsevich is in school right now, college, so he's probably focused on that, but he doesn't need to be focused on that. He needs to be focused on his race.
Just drive
He
the
needs to be
car.
there at the
drive
race.
fast.
I need to eat hot dogs and watch Lapsevich,
Yeah.
you know?
Ooh, you got Martinsville hot dogs coming
Yeah,
up too.
dude.
Ah, I
Get
love
to eat
Martinsville
'em.
hot dogs.
Dude, they're gas bombs, dude.
Oh, they are.
It's terrible.
But they're $2 a piece. They're
$2 a
delicious.
piece. It's a value meal. It's the cheapest thing you'll find under this Biden administration.
It's great because when you go, you always spend $40 at a time. It's
do.
like it's a bag of 20. That's
Bag
it.
of 20.
That's what we did.
Yep.
As evidenced by our sign right over there, the hot dog count.
Yep, the hot dog count's right there. Looking
Which
at it.
did make it onto the NASCAR vision. It didn't make it on the broadcast, but
It
remember
did.
it made it on the Jumbotron?
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
I was probably too intoxicated to realize that.
Well, that's fair. No, that'll be it's going to be really good, and I'm excited.
Yeah.
I had a follow up to that, but you were talking about TV numbers.
Yeah.
So Flow, I'm equally as curious to see this because they're carrying all the Cars Tour stuff on Flow, and they're carrying all the high limit stuff.
Yep.
Which I would argue are probably your two top series right now outside of the NASCAR bubble because I think High Limit's been outperforming the World of Outlaws. If I were to take a stab in the
Oh,
dark.
without a doubt. I don't think there's any question that that's happening. You know, I think they got a product over there. I know we talked about the track a little bit at Port Royal, but that's fine. You know, it was still fun.
Well, that's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen.
Yeah, like
They just
bad
need-
races are gonna happen from time to time.
Yeah, and I know you watch it more than I do. The High Limits.
It's actually on right now. I need to.
I was
need
gonna
to
say,
fill
did
up.
it
Yeah.
even end? Because I know we went up here, but
The USACs were taking like 3.5 hours to freaking qualify, and I got sick of
it's not
watching it.
usually
So-
a High Limits thing where they take a while to do those things.
well, they're sharing the event with USAC, so that's the issue.
so they have to have two, PRs.
And it's a bigger event, which is what makes it cool, but it's just a long event because, like, when we came up to record, they were still in the heat races, and I was like, "No, we're going to record. We got to go."
Yeah, that sounds about
I
right.
did just put it on my phone though, so I'll let you know in a second where we're at. But no, they've got to be doing really well, and it's really really good content. Trucks, I don't think we had any drama in the trucks. It all seemed pretty straightforward. Daniel Dye caused a wreck, which again, that and John Hunter Nemechek could be a scheduled tweet. And I was just super impressed with Layne Riggs. Like he started, I think 19th Friday night, and just kind of he was working his way up, and it was like, all right, he's got like top 10 speed, and then he got to the top 10 and kept going, and you're like, all right, he's got top 5 speed, and then he got the lead, and it was just like, nope, 38 trucks gone at end of the race,
Yeah.
So that was you and I are both Layne Riggs fans, so that was pretty exciting.
Yep, I was happy to see that. It solidifies him, I think, for a ride next year and something. So, really,
Well, he's already signed with the 38 next year.
is he?
Yeah, so he's good. He's locked.
Oh, cool.
He's back in the truck next year.
When did that
We're
happen?
good.
Did that happen recently?
2 weeks ago, semi-recent.
Right before Milwaukee or after? Probably after.
That's a good question. It may have been after.
Okay.
The win may have been the icing on the cake.
Gotcha.
You know what? No, it was before Milwaukee.
Oh,
Yeah, I remember that.
so he was like, "I love you guys."
Yeah. But honestly, like he had a couple races where he was at least close before that.
Yeah.
And we see it all the time where like you kind of need that confidence boost to prove that you can do it.
Yeah.
And then it just happens.
This happens. And I know, like, we were at Daytona in the first year, like this year, and I remember his truck was fine, but they had too many caution laps and he couldn't get up to speed, and I was like, that's BS. Like, that
Stupid
cost
DVP rule. Wasn't that a DVP, like a damage penalty? Yeah, it's stupid.
because caution came out and he wasn't up to speed. So.
Shout out. Still burned the 12 last week. Thanks, NASCAR, for your dumb rule.
Yeah, I don't understand that, but
But yet the 66 can run around there at 80 mile an hour all night. Morons.
Yeah.
Don't get me. I'm not going there. Not back to Cup.
Not back to Cup. Run away.
No, well, and I didn't realize. I was watching some post race clips Friday night, or I'm so screwed up. Thursday night after the truck race, I was watching some clips, and I didn't realize that 38 team this year was all rookies. So, like, literally, Layne as a rookie and the entire team.
The crew chief too seemed pretty young.
Yeah. So
just like, we're just having fun. I was like, well, you guys are winning.
So now it's all the more impressive where this is a totally green team in their first year.
Yeah.
And they barely missed the playoffs, and they've got 2 wins now.
Yeah.
So man, it's really exciting. FRM's doing a lot of good things right now. I'm excited to see them. I'm excited to see McDowell leave and then get some more drivers in. It does sound like Zane Smith is more than likely going to be joining the team next year. So
they have him,
win-win.
Riggs, for trucks, but then they also have Gregson.
Yep.
And you have Todd Gilliland. So they have the youngest team in NASCAR.
Yeah.
And I see what front row's thinking. One of them is going to hit.
Own it.
One of them is going to hit.
Well,
know?
Look, it's what Hendrick did 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Jimmy Johnson and Jeff Gordon left, and they hired all these no-namer, William Byron, Alex Bowman,
Kyle Larson,
Chase Elliott, and Kyle Larson.
They're all like 25 or younger.
Yeah.
I think Byron was 20.
And now tonight they had 3 cars in the top 10.
Yeah.
So they know
what they're looking for.
It's a smart move, and they got some serious talent. I mean, you're talking about a lot of talent under one roof.
You do. You have, like Gregson raced for championships.
Yep.
And Zane Smith won a championship.
Yep.
Todd Gilliland been impressive with the Cup.
He's improving.
I think he looks better in Cup than he has in any other series. And then you have Riggs doing his thing in trucks. So you have all the names that you need. You have some guys with Cup names. You also have some guys that have their original names and that have proven results. So kind of excited for that team.
And the entire team is run out of a shop smaller than Rick Hendrick's personal garage.
Let's just say this. If you can make Michael McDowell look really good, you can make anybody look really good. I hate to say it because Michael McDowell was going to retire 5 years ago before he won the Daytona 500. And then they gave him another shot. He won that, and then, he won a few more.
Now, do we even talk about that? We didn't really hit on that because the assumption was that McDowell was going to the 7. But now we know he's going to the 71.
Oh, he's going to 71, yeah.
Because Hocevar's already lined up for the 77. Now we know Haley's in the 7. So
that just seems like a dumpster fire.
So he left the 34 FRM car for the 71 Spire car.
I don't think he had a choice. You think he had a choice?
So he had a short-term deal with FRM. He wanted a long-term deal. That was the reason he left for Spire.
He's arrogant.
Oh, he is.
He thinks he's better than that.
Yeah. Hey.
I don't believe it. We'll see what happens. But
oh, by the way, the high limits just started the A, and they had a wreck on the first lap. So, just a fun little update for everyone that's not listening live because no one listens live. No, I think FRM's going to kick their butt next year, and I'm all for it because I like FRM. Oh, there we go. Let's see a replay. Looks like it happened. Oh, guy just lost it. Collected 2 other cars. It was running almost dead last, so it didn't matter. Yeah.
But yeah, I agree. I think it's going to be interesting to see what they do next year with all those young guys, and I think Gregson will improve.
Hey, he finished 12th tonight. Credit where it's due.
Not bad.
Yeah. I mean, and it's been steady. And obviously, SHR is not in a good spot right now. So it's you kind of have to put an asterisk behind Noah's positions.
Chase Briscoe, man. He advanced.
Dude, so what's funny.
Barely made it in,
It's true, he did. He did.
He made it in the last race.
So we did a podcast with our buddies in the Here for the Speed, and now we have a group text that just has not stopped going off. And so now they're just like, I literally have been continuing because we just text all the time. But I picked Briscoe on our picks last week just as like a Hail Mary. And halfway through the race, Briscoe was passing cars and he was up to like P2. And Matt from their podcast texted and he's like, can you please pick Keselowski next time? like, I don't know what magic is behind your picks, but what the heck, man?
Yeah, right. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of crazy how well he did, That
was great.
But we knew he had a potential, even though we might have forgot about it for a little bit because of his mistakes. But he could have won a lot of races previously. Just made some poor decisions, but he's grown. He's grown from that. They're young people. They're young drivers. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's still going to be interesting seeing him with Joe Gibbs next year. But
yeah,
sorry, I'm kind of half watching the Eldora high limit race. The A-Man's on right now. Aubreu is leading, by the way. So
I was surprised.
Yeah, dude, he is tearing up the high limit series this year. Because we actually are getting up to our dirt track moment, but it's hard to do our dirt track moment because the race isn't over yet. So we're gonna continue down the list, and then if the A-Main is over by the time before we're done recording, then we'll talk about who won the high limit.
Yeah,
this is weird recordings. Like it's weird recording on a Saturday night. Like I'm now totally screwed up.
It's too efficient.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
It's way too efficient. We need to do it on like a Tuesday afternoon. Which we were doing for a while. That was actually kind of fun.
We were, yeah.
Yeah. So I am wearing my Kenny Edkin shirt in celebration. Unfortunately, their race today canceled, but the good side of that is Kenny did win the BAPS Super Sportsman Track Championship again.
Awesome. Congratulations, Kenny.
Yeah, I believe fourth. Pretty sure fourth. I'm pretty sure his fourth track championship.
You might as well give this man a cup ride.
Hey.
Put him in the 7.
I wouldn't wish that upon my friend to be in the Cup Series.
No, don't go in the 7, Kenny.
No, but really cool to see. So what's funny, their touring championship this year was literally 2 races. They had
they went to Lincoln once?
Yeah.
And then like Williams Grove?
So they had, yes, I think. I'm sorry if I screwed that up, but I think. So they had 7 races scheduled with the touring series.
Yeah.
And 5 of them canceled.
They rained out?
Rained out. So
he got 2 championships.
No, he did not win that one because he wrecked in the one race. I think he said he finished P3 in that. Scott Dellinger did win the touring championship.
Oh, congrats on winning 2 races.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Which is just wild, like to think about a championship being 2 races, but rules are rules, which is kind of a shame. But yeah, we had that, and we had some other good stuff this weekend too, and we'll kind of just keep rolling, and then wow, they just keep wrecking. Holy smokes! Eldora is wide tonight though, bro. There's like 6 lanes there. That's awesome. You know what didn't have 6 lanes? Any NASCAR Next Gen race. As I continue to poop on that. Moving forward to our news rumors section, we did have Nick Sanchez announced going to be in the 48 car in the Xfinity Series.
Yep, and Parker's done.
Which is I'm going to miss Parker. I actually really like Parker. So
he made the playoffs, right?
Yeah, made the playoffs.
It's the first time with that team, I think. Or did they make it last year?
I thought they made it last year.
With him? Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
But they only made the playoffs with him, you know?
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's
kind of
massively stepped up that program.
Yeah.
So,
which is good.
No, it's going to be a bummer. And really curious to see how Nick Sanchez does. Nick's got some talent. He oversteps from time to time. So, I'm going to be curious to see what happens.
I'm not going to say it.
No, say it. You set it up. You got to go now.
You remember when we were at Spire and what they called him?
Oh, yeah, I do remember.
And then he won that night.
Yeah.
He laughed about it.
Yeah, I actually did forget about that. That was pretty funny.
It was like...
Our buddy that works at Spire has no filter, and he's very funny.
But you know what? It was all in good fun. It wasn't like...
It wasn't crossing a line. It was just,
He liked it, so it was all right.
I thought I'll take all of the things. All of the things.
And from that moment on, I've kind of rooted for him. A little bit.
Because of that.
Because he's a cool guy. He can take a joke.
That is true. You know? He did very well because he kind of laughed and was like, yeah, move.
Yeah, I'd probably dish it back.
Yeah. Oh, I would hope so. That's the way it should be.
It should be. Yeah.
So, no, that'll be big. I'm really curious to see how he does there. The other, I didn't really have any other follow up on that. The other really big news is, and this one I feel like is bigger. Ty Norris left Trackhouse. Like
that happened.
That happened.
Dude, that guy's an idiot. He's the reason why we have Chargers.
Oh, really? So you're not a Ty Norris fan?
Yeah,
okay,
no.
10-4.
He's the reason why Michael Waltrip got suspended with the itchy arm. That was Ty Norris's idea. Yeah, I remember this crap because I like Michael Waltrip Racing was my favorite team at one point.
They had the coolest shop. They
Oh, it was
definitely
great.
have
It was a
cool
movie
shop.
theater.
Yeah.
And actually, so ironically, so I had an interview for a job when I was living down there to be like an HR person for their. It wasn't for their team, but the person that bought out Michael Ultra Racing was a like customized, like you can customize Jeeps and stuff. Like they had like lift kits and stuff, and like it was a dealership as well. And I had an interview, and they're like, "Oh, this is Michael Waltrip's old shop." And so, like, I didn't get the job, but they showed me the theater that Michael Waltrip had. They gave me like a little NASCAR tour because I was like, I know I'm not going to take this job, but
Yeah, you might as well take advantage.
You might as well give me the tour. You know, you might.
That's cool. So
yeah.
Like, how much was changed? Like, did they leave a lot of the layout the way it was? Or?
So what was really cool was like the layout that they had because of the movie theater. They actually had like a upstairs walkway that went not like Penske, like it was just one, but you can walk like in the middle of everything.
Right. That's what I remember when it was Michael Waltrip Racing, how cool it was because you could see everything.
It's still there.
Oh, that's
and the
so
theater,
cool.
they didn't touch the theater. So like the theater in there, they still Michael Waltrip like designed. And yeah, I mean, it's, you see some things, you see some like posters and stuff, but most of it has switched over to the company. I was like, well, thanks for the history. You know, I was like,
dude, that's really cool. Cause I've always wondered that. Where is that building in Mooresville?
yeah. So it's actually off the Huntersville exit where,
Everything else
Saeed's is actually.
Oh, Hunters. Oh, yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah, right where that is at. So it's like exit 38, 37, Sanford Road, I think. Yeah, you get off there and it's like some rocky ridge, like not rocky ridge, but some rocky top, like customization company owns it now.
I'm going to probably Google Maps this when we're done because I want to investigate.
Yeah, no, it's not bad, but yeah, they switched some things up, but I didn't want to be a salesperson, so I was like, no, I'm good, man.
Yeah, no, I get it. It's a tough thing, but
Yeah.
that's pretty cool. I'm glad they kept it the same because I do remember back in the day I went when it was still Michael Waltrip Racing as a fan.
So you
I
actually were there when it was actually Michael Ultra Racing?
Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty nice because I never had a chance to be there.
Oh, okay.
So
It was neat, and honestly, like you always like one of the things I would love is to be able to go back in time because there's so many things that I would love to like revisit.
I love David Ruderman, Brian Vickers, Mark Martin. I know you like Mark Martin too.
Oh my gosh, as
I had his epic swag shirt. I
got
did.
a whole collection behind me.
Yeah, I mean, like it was just such a fun team, and Michael Waltrip did his. You know, he races 500 races. Like it was just cool, man. And
The
Michael
itchy arm killed it, man.
Itchy arm.
Itchy arm.
Thank you, Brett Griffin.
And then I mean it was basically Napa. I think is what Napa and the
Ty Norris. It was his idea.
Not good.
Yep, he's at one point. He's worth like $1.8 billion. I don't think he really matters. You know, he don't care. He wants to win the race. Man. He wants to make some money. It's about the ROI.
Man, that'd be cool to. Man, I wish I could just go back in time and like see that again.
Just embrace it again.
Yeah.
Watch David Ruderman win at Chicagoland. I was like, this is not supposed to happen.
I forgot about that. I forgot that
random win because that was not expected, dude.
Well, and Clint Boyer almost won a championship with that team.
He did. He
finished
15, and then Jeff Gordon wrecked him at Phoenix.
Yep.
And
and the fight was on.
Oh boy! Yep, it was in November. I think it was on November 13th. I believe. I don't know if it was. It was a Sunday, obviously, but it was on my one friend's birthday at the time, so I do remember that happening. We got back from Chili's, and when we got back, it was like the last 10 laps or 20. You heard that?
That was thunder. Holy crap! That was loud thunder.
It's storming.
It must be storming.
I gotta drive back home in the storm.
Oh,
frick!
I don't know if anyone could hear that in the podcast, but that was loud thunder, like enough that we both turned our heads and looked out the window.
I thought there was something through my mic.
No, there's a pretty good storm apparently rolling through Pennsylvania right now. Hey, you can sleep on the couch, Mitch. It'll be fun.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, it'll be great.
Yep.
I got a whole camper sitting out there. You can have your own bed.
Right. It's actually nice and cool out there, so.
It'd be really nice. Hey, I got power and everything, so you can run the AC. I don't even care.
Hey.
Yeah,
that
have
works
fun.
for me.
Might as well. Camper's been sitting for 6 months, so someone might as well use it.
It's got to be used, man.
But Ty Norris, sorry, where we were originally going, Ty Norris has left Trackhouse and is now at College Racing. So That was the last little bit of rumor news that I had.
Some purple's coming through, dude.
Bro, we got like a big old storm rolling.
And
that's crazy.
It's purple. So it's like...
Heavy rain.
It's like tornado watch, dude.
That's crazy.
Purple's not good. I've never seen purple this year. Like that's pretty bad.
All right. Well, I think that covers the bulk of the really what there is to discuss. I wish we had more from the race tonight to talk about, but they're really not. And we have nothing to talk about with high limits because it's not over yet. But Rico Aubreu is currently leading the race, so he's had a really good run lately. So there's a good chance that he pulls it off.
Yeah, I'm not surprised if he does.
Yeah, right. Not a shock. So next week we are going to Kansas. Again, this is one of the better NASCAR Cup Series tracks. So I think we definitely are a little bit excited about that. Is there who are you looking at? I mean, who's your top guy you think this weekend to get it done?
I mean, I don't want to be that guy, but the guy who won there last time was Kyle Larson. He just won this week.
Yep.
Dominated fashion, Kyle Larson. It was one of his best tracks. I mean, he loves Kansas. And so he's going to be up there. And, I think he has a really good shot. I think Denny Hamlin has a good shot. It's one of his best tracks. Actually, Denny Hamlin took a win away from Kyle Larson there.
Oh, big time.
I mean, Kyle Larson could probably have 7 wins here, basically. Chase Elliott's won here before. Joe Logano's pretty decent here, So I think those guys are going to be in the mix. But I can't even Tyler Reddick. So it's hard to say who's going to load quick. But
yeah,
obvious answer is probably going to be Kyle Larson.
I mean, I think it's a solid pick, and that's who won in the spring. Kyle Larson beat Chris Buescher,
which it didn't look like he did. It looked like Chris Buescher won that race.
It was close.
Yeah,
I was satisfied with the evidence I saw, so I do believe.
You were? Okay.
Yeah, the evidence was good.
Well, yeah.
But yeah, live, I really thought Buescher won. So
it would change everything because he would have made the playoffs.
He would have been in the playoffs.
He would have been in the playoffs.
He would have had that sticker on his car.
Yep.
So who'd you pick with? Who'd you roll with? Larson. Yeah. I mean, that was the guy that I definitely had on my list. Yeah. I think after that, I don't know. I mean, I think I'm just going to roll with my gut. And my gut says if I can't pick Larson, I think I go Christopher Bell.
Okay.
I think Bell's probably him or Reddick are probably the two that I'm looking at next. I mean, Hamlin realistically, but I just can't pick Hamlin.
No,
I can't pick Hamlin. Not in good heart. Yeah.
I hate that he advanced.
I know. I really thought they were going to choke this out. I thought that was going to be the big storyline.
No, if they decide to say, we'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out. We'll be decent this week.
I know. I just assumed NASCAR was going to rig it somehow because they're pissed about the charters, making them look bad.
Yeah.
I figured they would do something, but I guess not.
Phantom caution would at least benefited him.
Yeah, something. Just throw a little quick caution out,
Hey, it could still happen. They're going to wait till later to do it.
Barnesville. Hey, Ross.
Payback.
Full throttle it again.
Ross.
We'll let it go.
Do the Hail Melon.
Hail Melon, please.
No, it'll be interesting to see. I'm excited to see it. Obviously, we have high expectations going into it. We do have all 3 series, which is really cool. We're going to have Xfinity and trucks there as well.
Okay.
So going to be a full weekend at the Kansas, which I'm assuming that's probably why Layne Riggs is not running the Martinsville race because he'll be not nearby. So unfortunately,
yeah, I think you're right because I think Xfinity trucks are at Friday night, so it makes sense because
you're gonna have qualifying races on Friday, right? For the
qualifying is Friday, and the heats are on Saturday, so
it kind of locks them out.
You have so many cars entered, you kind of have to qualify.
That's a shame. I assume Carson Kvapil's racing, right? I mean,
I don't think I saw him on the list.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. So we could see a couple new names at the front.
There's some names on there that I raced with on iRacing, and they kind of pissed me off. So hopefully they don't do it. But yeah, they're on there. But yeah, there's some guys I know just from local stuff like a Hickory. Like there's some Hickory regulars and
Hickory,
yeah, and some car store people as well. But this should be pretty good. I think it'd just be a good time overall. So
yeah, that's cool, man. I dig it. So with that, I think we're gonna wrap up this week. And we'll call it. It's good to see your actual face. It's good to see your actual face and not a computer.
I'm real. I'm not AI.
That's good. You're not coming through an IMAX screen this time.
No.
It's really you.
No, I appreciate it, man. Thank you for inviting me over. It was a good night, even though the race was kind of mediocre. But always a good time, watching with y'all. So.
Likewise, we got to keep it doing. So this was originally David's idea for us to get together
I know.
tonight, and then he bailed.
Yeah.
So we just got to throw shade on him real quick.
Right.
Yeah.
And I know we thought about going to his concert, but I was like, I know the connection ain't going to work up in Liverpool.
Yeah.
There ain't no way. It don't work.
So what's funny, when I saw David earlier today, he's like, honestly, if I were you, I would just watch it at your house. And I was like, all right, I appreciate that.
Is that what he said? Yeah.
So I was like, all right, I appreciate that transparency.
I was like, I looked at it's about an hour from my house. I was like, well, it's going to be a late night,
Real late night.
But, yeah, I mean, I do like live music, though. So I was kind of like on the fence of going to. Like,
could have gone either way.
Dude, it's pretty good. Like, honestly, local bars are pretty, like, local, like, band bars. They could be pretty fun.
I think I did too much of it for too many years.
I know you have a sour taste.
No desire.
You're pissed about it. But I mean, when you're just having a good time watching some football or racing on the TV and there's a band playing and they play your favorite jam, it's like...
It's pretty cool.
After 3 beers, you feel like it's pretty good.
So what's funny, since you mentioned that, sorry, I'll tell one story and then we'll be done.
Yeah.
So I used to be the house engineer for a club that it was like it was sports bar-ish, but it wasn't. So they had this stage area, but then they had a big projector screen with like a bunch of small TVs around it. So, and usually it wasn't an issue. Like, it just provided sort of a backdrop for the band, and it wasn't. So the one night, I remember I was doing sound for a band there, and it was the night of the Penn State-Ohio State game, which for those not in central Pennsylvania, that is the college like Super Bowl, basically.
It's a pretty intense time for all of us.
Oh yeah. So, and of course, that was the one that went into overtime and a field goal decided it. So the entire club is huddled around the stage, and they couldn't give 2 craps about the band. They're all huddled around the stage to watch the freaking screen that's behind the band.
Yeah.
To the point where the lead singer of the band, when he realized it was like becoming a big moment in the game, he's like, hey, we're going to stop. And literally, like, the whole band turns around and they're sitting like on their guitar amps and stuff, like watching the screen. And I think Ohio State won that game, if I remember correctly.
Unfortunately, the last time Penn State won was 2016, and I was actually I was a freshman
ago?
in college, and I remember it was my first college party, and I party foul, way too drunk, and either way,
that was Arab Mitch days.
There was I had the beard, I did, but we like blocked a punt or something, or blocked a field goal and ran it back and won, and we were all crying.
Going bananas.
It was nuts.
Yeah, it doesn't happen much anymore.
It was so fun.
I swear, I thought Penn State won one of those like 2 years ago.
Well, we might have won Michigan, but when it comes to Ohio State, it's been since 2016.
Yikes.
It's bad, dude. It's like the Bengals. They haven't won a Super Bowl since like the 80s. Actually, no, they never won a Super Bowl.
That's depressing.
Yeah.
Hey, at least the Eagles have one. We got one.
Yeah, you got one.
I'm
shocked you guys have one. I thought you guys would have more.
Well,
Dawkins and all that, dude. He was such a beast.
I know, but they're so good at choking. I mean, they showed it again Monday night against
the Philadelphia Phillies should have 10, and they have like 3 World Series.
So irritating. It's so irritating as a fan. That's why David and I went to the Super Bowl parade when it happened, because we're like it may never happen again.
Right.
Ooh, that's a good lightning strike.
Yeah.
That just lit up the whole stairway.
I'm going to die.
Don't die, please. All right. Hey, have a good weekend, y'all. We'll see you next week.
Yep, have a good one, guys.
Bye.
See you.